Hello guys, welcome to your channel, Only in the Pilipins TV, your home away from home. The protagonists are Guy and Priska Kappa, who hope that this family vacation will soften the blow to their two young children, Maddox and Trent, that they are getting a divorce. After they arrived in the fancy resort, Guy and Priska are greeted with complimentary drinks, which they gladly take. Maddox and Trent make friends with Idlib, the nephew of the resort manager, and Idlib shows Trent a special code to decipher messages. Guy and Priska discuss that this is just one last trip they wanted to give the kids before they divorce, which is made worse because Priska is suffering from a stomach tumor. A resort guide convinces the family to come on an excursion to a special private beach. Husband and wife Jaron and Patricia Carmichael, and a rapper who goes by the name Midsized Sedan. The guests are a little confused about why the guide packs an obscene amount of food for their beach day trip, but let it slide. They start walking their way to the secret beach. The way is too weird and the main entrance of the beach is like a cave. When they reach their destinations, all of them are extremely amazed. The beach is so beautiful and the view is almost perfect. Charles noticed a strange black man sitting on the side while staring at them. Maddox then recognizes the black man. He's a rapper, he's Midsized Sedan and his real name is Brendan Smith. As the kids play, the girls find old dolls buried in the sand, left behind by other kids, and some belongings came from their hotel. Trent goes for a swim in the cave, then he saw a body of a girl then lately found out as Brendan's girlfriend. Trent called her parents, everyone got confused and apparently the woman got drowned to death. The adults examine the body, while Brendan is suffering from nosebleeds and is equally stunned at the discovery. Charles suspects Brendan, he think the rapper killed the woman. Brendan told them that the woman swims out by himself and he don't really know what happened, but Charles don't believed all of what he said. Guy talks to Brendan, and Brendan maintains that the woman only went for a swim and never came back. Jaron and Patricia arrives at the beach. Guy suggests that all of them needs to leave the beach, but Jaron said that the one who brought them there is already gone. Jaron asked what happened to the woman and Charles keeps pointing on Brendan, which Brendan strongly disagree. Brendan clears up to them that the woman he was with had different sclerosis while he has hemophilia, which makes sense of his steady nosebleeds. Jaron tried to go back to the forest to find some signal, but instead something stopped him on his way out. He got blackout and end back on the beach. Meanwhile, Priska begs Charles, since he was a doctor, to look at her child's as there's something weird happening to them. All of a sudden, Charles's mom stopped breathing and as a doctor, he try hard to revive her but she's already gone. Trent and Maddox talk to Jaron and Patricia. He asked them their names and job. Jaron is a nurse while Patricia is a psychologist. At this point, it's clearly noticed that Trent and Maddox together with Kara suddenly turned to a teenager. Jaron and Patricia couldn't believe that Trent is only 6 years old and Maddox is just 11. Meanwhile, Priska asked Jaron and Patricia if they saw her children, then Jaron asks if they were just fooling them since he is talking to the kids and their mother didn't recognize her children. Guy tell Priska that they need to leave, but he was stunned for what he saw. His 6 years old son is now a pre-teenager and his 11 years old daughter is now a teenager in just an hour. Charles saw Brendan running to the cave, probably wants out of the beach, so he chases him, but something again stopped them in the cave and both got black out and ends up back in the beach. It's pretty clear now that no one's gonna leave the beach, and may be stuck there for life. Charles suggests that there might be another way. He pointed to the mountain with a flashing light in it. They likewise notice uncommon things. Charles assaults Brendan with a knife. The cut imprint recuperates in practically no time, but they can't believe that the cut on Brendan's face got healed in a matter of seconds. They start panicking. Again, Brendan told them that he did nothing to that woman and he just want to go back to his hotel room. Abruptly, the growth in Priska's stomach begins to cause her aggravation and misery. They try to help her, with them feeling around for the tumor at first and describing it as the size of a golf ball. Charles suggests a surgery, but Guy don't want to put her wife's life at risk, so he disagree, but he had no choice. The tumor will grow fast, so he allowed Charles to take it out. But there's a complication. After Charles cut Priska's stomach, it healed right away. All of them are shocked for what they just saw. Charles tried again, but this time all of them helped. They put their hands inside of the cut to stop the healing, and they pulled a basketball-like tumor out of Priska's stomach. After they let go, her stomach heals in a matter of seconds. Brendan observes that the dead body of the woman he was with has now completely decayed to only bones within hours, causing them to understand that there is something time-related happening around the beach. That time, Trent and Kara spending their time together in a tent. As the adults gather, Brendan told them that in this beach, 16 minutes is equivalent to 2 years or 50 years in one day. 6 years old Trent is now a grown-up man, and so does Kara and Maddox. What's more is that Kara has some way or another become 5 months pregnant inside merely minutes after evidently having intercourse with Trent minutes earlier. Both Trent and Kara don't have an idea that Kara is 5 months pregnant in a matter of minutes. Kara's stomach is gotten bigger in every bit of the clock. Kara give birth in just about a minute of being pregnant, but baby died because of how fast the time is passing them. Charles starts to lose his mind, the reason why he stabbed Brendan to death then walked away. Someone's watching them from the mountain. Jaren decide to swim and look for way out or maybe ask some help. Maddox got angry with her mom and attempted to take a swim for way out, but instead she found Jaren's body and already dead. Kara then, at that point, frantically attempts to discover a way and fires moving up the stones to attempt to come to the top. However, before she can make it sufficiently high, she also passes out and tumbles to her death, leaving Trent devastated. Then Patricia suffers a fatal epileptic seizures that causes her death. Night comes, Guy's losing his eyesight, Crystal rapidly aging, and Priska losing her hearing. Trent and Maddox found a notebook left by a past guest, with names and ailments written down on paper. Trent saw a light up in the mountain and he called Maddox. They noticed that it looks like people in the distance observing them. Charles attacks Guy and Priska with his knife. Priska run away and called Maddox and Trent. Her children are busy gathering some information at that point and she told them to run away. Trent and Maddox end up in the cave. Crystal is hiding there and she starts throwing rocks towards the two. Crystal's body becomes bent and bended to awful points before she dies. Priska then, at that point, slashes Charles with a corroded blade, causing a disease that quickly spreads through his body and kills him. Trent and Maddox trying to comfort their mom and dad that night. Both of their parents are clearly weak and old. Maddox even sing them a song while in tears. Guy and Priska are both happy to hear her sing. The now old guy is struggling with talking and recalling things, yet he basically owns up to Priska that he actually still loved her before he dies. Priska stands up and walks near the beach before she collapses and dies right beside her dead husband. The next day, Trent and Maddox are now in their 50s. The two are the only people left alive at the beach. Maddox explained to Trent that they only have 13 hours left to live. The two decided to play near the beach. While playing, Trent told Maddox that Idlib give him a message that he hasn't decoded yet. Trent raises a code that Idlib gave him, which he unraveled and sorted out signifies, "My uncle doesn't like the coral." The siblings saw a coral reef at the beach and realizes that it might be their way out. Trent and Maddox swim toward the coral and find a submerged passage, and swim through it. Up in the mountain, there's a scientist who has been observing the people on the beach this entire time. When Trent and Maddox don't resurface, the scientist calls his superior to report that they both drowned. He pretty sure that both Trent and Maddox are drowned to death and told his boss that the trial number 73 is now complete. He packed his equipments and returned to their laboratory. There you can see screens following things like coronary illness, epilepsy, tuberculosis, and more. The researchers infusing drugs into those mixed drink glasses given to Guy and Priska toward the start of the film. They also had the information of each guest that they brought to the beach. Their boss asks the scientists to give a moment of silence to the trial number 73. The hotel manager gives a discourse to the researchers about the number of lives they saved, having the option to test new medications on patients rapidly by sending them to the beach. This preliminary was a triumph, on the grounds that Patricia's medication kept her from having a seizure for 8 hours, otherwise known as 16 years in Oceanside time. It is revealed that the scientists don't know why this beach exists, just that this pharmaceutical company happened upon it, and have been luring people with chronic conditions there for unethical medical trials ever since. Back at the hotel, a sopping wet Trent Kappa approaches a man who he met as a young child, who he recalls as a cop. He hands him proof from the Oceanside, a journal he found from a past subject. The cop authentic the names and it is positive that those people were missing. Idlib comes out and recognizes Trent even as an adult. Then flash back to the second when Trent and Maddox were trapped in the submerged passage and see they had the option to momentarily re-emerge for air, and afterward swim the remainder of the exit plan, after the scientist had left his perception post. Trent and Maddox are traveled to the airport on a helicopter.
That's all for today, guys. Thank you all for watching. We will be back for more exciting content.